Welcome to everyone who just joined us. I just want to say a quick thank you for joining us. I know you guys are hacking right now. We got a really great workshop lined up for you. I'm joined by Prashant from Spheron Protocol. Prashant, I'm sure you can give yourself a better introduction than I can, but I wanted to kick it off by saying we will be taking questions throughout the workshop. Please put your questions into the chat using Zoom below, and we'll try and take them throughout the session. Prashant, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Luke, for the warm introduction. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining in and showing interest into Spheron as such, like going and hosting your web application on a decentralized ecosystem. I did not want to like waste most of your time in making you understand why use Spheron, but rather I would love to go and directly jump into like showing exactly in how many steps you can start launching your dApps on a decentralized ecosystem, which is nothing but a IPFS and Filecoin, and how you can basically help yourself in accelerating your web applications today. Whatever you might be building today, you might be building NFTs, you might be having multiple use cases around DeFi, data DAOs, or whatever you are planning to build. Most likely you are going to be using a web application to interact with the user interface, like with the user. If so, then most likely Spheron will come into the picture, and we will be more than happy to support you in taking your dApp to a truly decentralized world, which is nothing but IPFS and Filecoin, and how you can basically make that happen. So at Spheron, the day when I'm also a builder, and I believe my journey also started from ETH Global as well, like initial days of Gitcoin, and then after that ETH Global. So most of you who are sitting here, most likely all the very best going forward. Also, like whatever your boundaries you guys are participating in, just participate and also keep your motivations up. This is what I also wanted to just share. Before I dive into, there are a few things which you have to understand how you are going to use this Spheron. The first thing is like it's very straightforward. You might have been into Web 2, and if you have used anything apart from Spheron earlier in Web 2, like Vercel, Netlify, DigitalOcean, Go, whatever, you are going to have the same experience here as well. There won't be any experience differences. The only difference which you are going to see, instead of using AWS, your data will be sitting on on Filecoin on IPFS, or S3 object, it will be on IPFS or Filecoin. If you are using the compute for any reasons, you can also you most likely will be making your compute launch on Akash network rather than on AWS. So these are the common things which you are going to look into. But yeah, I'll directly dive into the demo now. Luke, just confirm me if my screen is visible. If so, then I'll go ahead with the demo. Anyone can confirm like if my screen is visible? Yes. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. So basically, to log in into Spheron, it's very straightforward. Just go to Spheron network. Once you are at Spheron network, there will be a page called Deploy App. Deploy now. You can click on that, or you can directly go to app.spheron.network. Mitrash, if you are here, you can just paste those links here so that people can easily find this out. And then go and click on GitHub. So most likely you might be using GitHub, or you might be using GitLab or Bitbucket, whatever is your favorite, you can go ahead and do that. So let's say I want to go with GitHub, continue logging with the GitHub. Once you log in with the GitHub, there is straightforward, there will be a dashboard which you are going to see. This dashboard has a couple of things which I just wanted to walk you guys through so that you have a clear understanding what this dashboard basically means and how exactly you can utilize it at a full potential. The first and the foremost thing you have to do is go and build your own project. You don't even have to do anything. Like you don't even need to connect your wallet as well. The reason, because we want to give you the feel of Web2 first to understand, okay, everything is like looking smooth and everything. Then you go and start connecting your wallet, and then you start moving forward from there. So the first thing which you can do is like go to the new project, go to your GitHub, and once you connect your GitHub, most likely if you have not installed Spheron's app into your GitHub, it will ask you to install. You just have to install that app, give the specific access of your repository which you are looking forward to give it. And once you are done with that, you will be able to see these repositories. if by any chance you are not getting your repository here, we all are building the product. Sometimes we also face some bugs. So that is not an issue. You can do one thing is like come over here. There's a refresh icon. You can hit on this refresh icon and most likely you will get your repositories here. Even in that case, you're not, but I'm just assuming most of all the cases so that you guys should not panic like, hey, you know what? This is not working out. It will work for sure. 100% will work what I'm saying here, but sometimes it might happen because of the bandwidth and multiple issues. So what you can do is to do that. And then let's say if I have to launch my, let's say View app today, if I'm building a View app, so I will go and click on that particular app. Now for me, if you see, there are three storage providers are open: RV, Filecoin, and IPFS. Most likely for you, if you'll be in a free tier, you will not be getting RV. But if you want, please feel free to DM us. We'll be more than happy to give you that. But we'd highly recommend to go and use IPFS and Filecoin at this point of time, because that will be more than enough for you guys to take a deeper dive. So go and click on Filecoin here. Once you have click the Filecoin, what it does, it basically pre-select your framework. For me, all of these commands are something which I have already configured, and it's going to be the same for you guys. You can also use the same command. You don't have like whatever command you use for building your repositories, you can go ahead and use those commands. And then once you are done with that, please make sure you select your node engine properly, because what we have seen during our previous experiences is like most of the times developers, like people who are going for deployment, they forget to select the right node module. So please make sure like whatever you are using, if it is node 12, 14, 16, please make sure you select that. And once you are selected, you don't have to do anything. And if you have any environment variables, please feel free to go ahead and add environment variables by clicking on new variables and then passing on the variables into here. Once you are done with that, there is nothing else you have to do. You just have to click on deploy. And this is how easy it is to go ahead use Spheron today. And what it does, it basically starts deploying your web application. Now, till the time it is getting deployed, it hardly takes, depending on your size of application and all of those things, it totally depends how much time it takes. But generally, our average time duration of any app, let's say to build, which is like good app, it lies between 1 minute to 3 minutes. This is what hardly it takes. And if let's say if it is a very big user interface like Uniswap or something, then it might take 7 to 8 minutes. But even if lower end, it can do in 1 to 3 minutes max. Sometimes even faster if it is a pure JS application. Once you are done doing this, there are a few things which I also wanted to point you guys out, like to show you. There are a few things which you have to do in order to make sure you are also participating in the bounty and you are not just using this Spheron for your deployment only. So what you can do is you have to come here. If you have a domain, most likely we'll be looking forward like you should be a CS builder who want to take the entire things forward, and that is where we want to come and provide you the support in whatever way it is possible. So the first thing which you have to do is to attach your domain. You can go here, you can enter, let's say I want to attach my xyz.com. I'll go there. I have to basically provide in which environment we want to attach. So generally at Spheron, we have two environments which we give by default to developers to start working on. We call one as a production and the development. So let's say if my environment is development, I'll select development. And then I can go to select to domain point to where exactly my domain wants to, which particular transaction has my domain has to be get pointed to. And this is how I have to do it. And this point will only happen only if we go and click on add and verify our domain. Once domains are verified, then you can add your transaction hash which you want to point to. So this is what you can do at this point of time. So let's say if I want to add both production and development, this is what you can do. Apart from that, let's say if you have an ENS with you and you want to use Brave, like for example, we currently support eth.link and eth.limo with us. So you can go and point your ENS domain here and basically point your whatever hash you have deployed so far, and it just resolves it and it just maps that particular thing to that ENS domain whichever you have. So it's that easy and it's that simple. You don't even have to now worry about going and doing a lot of multiple transactions just to make that happen. It is very straightforward. Now, once you are done with all of those things, there are a few things also. Like say, if you see here, it is still showing me pending, but it is 3 minutes ago by his rate. Now, what happens? Like as I said, we are not maintaining the real time state. Rather, it is asynchronous state, which means like you have to async every time you are out. So if you see this particular application is deployed, once it is deployed, you will get two functions here. The one function is called CIDs. This is a transaction you guys must be knowing it. It is a CID which is been generated after the build, and it took around 1 minute 33 seconds, which is much more lesser for me. Now go and preview deployment. Most likely you'll be able to see my deployed version of IPFS deployment here. You can use this hash to pin whatever you want to. These are the couple of things which you have done with like access the application. Apart from that, there are a few more things which you can also like start seeing at Spheron, which is called the domain. Like by default, we give you two things. The one which is called transaction hash, like hash for your CID, and then we also bind that CID hash with our domain, which is Spheron.app. So what happens is like we have Spheron.app, which is using our own CDN, which we have built over the time, and it serves your application much more faster than direct gateway call. So if you are looking to, let's say, go and give this domain to your stakeholders who are sitting into different niches, I would highly recommend to go and give it to them this particular link rather than the direct gateway link, because the direct gateway link don't have a CDN attached to it, which might be little slow, but it will be like faster only in terms of any other gateway out there. So these are the things which you have to just keep in mind. And so apart from that, if let's say you have some team members you want to go ahead and invite, one of the coolest feature of Spheron is feel free to go ahead and invite the team members. If you guys need any help or like you need to upgrade your subscription, please ping us on a Discord in our ETH Global channel itself, and we'll make sure like we'll allocate you certain coupon code which you can use to like open up your in the team invitation feature here. Now, just to give you certain more outputs around like how exactly you can upgrade to the Pro once you ask for us with the coupon code, you can go to the billing. There is a coupon section here. If you can see, like I have already attached these coupons. So you just have to go and attach the coupon code here. And the moment you will do that, you will be able to see like you are good to go and start inviting your team members. So this is straightforwardly like this. Like you can just go in and do it immediately. It will be much more easier. Apart from that, if you are a company and if you are willing to like take it things more forward, we have a lot of other things into it, which is built-in features. Like if you are an optimism arbitrage, even in the future, if you want to take the Spheron forward with your own journey, you don't even have to off-ramp your money from crypto to fiat. You can still go ahead and use any chain like Polygon, Ethereum. Once FEM is also live, we'll also be there. All of these chains you can go ahead today and start paying from there. You don't even have to like go and off ramp any of the cryptocurrency there. So these are the couple of high level features which I wanted to point it out. I'll pause here for 2 to 3 minutes just to hear if you guys have any questions. If not, then I'll also show you one more part of it, which is also very interesting. Most of the people who might be running MongoDB, Postgres, or any kind of IPFS node or want to run your own personal IPFS gateways and everything, you can use this feature. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'd love to hear this out. Thanks. Okay. I believe Mitrashis, you are already taking the questions there. Anyone has any questions till now? Any concerns, any questions? We'll be more than happy to take it forward now.
I got a question.
Yeah, please.
About the CDN. Is that like you're hosting that from like Cloudflare or something, or how's that working? Like how is that getting deployed?
So basically what we actually have done is like instead of going and using, because we have been building the like this particular maybe for a very long time. So what we have done is like, instead of going and relying on any of the Cloudflare, we have our own in-house CDN which we have built, which we are also planning to open source it soon for everyone to start, because there are a lot of security testing which we are currently going through. But once that is done, like most likely will also open it up for community to start running it up. So that is what that CDN is. It is in-house, no Cloudflare, nothing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then it is battle tested. You can I can also, like, you guys can go and start doing your DDoS attack or whatever attack you want to. It is very well battle tested, security tested, and everything. But the only thing which we are looking for going forward is like, once the CDN is kind of going live into the market, or these nodes, once we make it live, most likely will come back again in the ETH global, and most likely, who knows, next time you guys will be using the CDN to build something else. So that is something
Famous last words.
we have built over.
Famous last words.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. And guys, any other questions? Hope that answered my answered your question. No. All right, which means I'm kind of good at explaining people like what we are building. Any plans on support for DNS link? Mitrash, you can answer that. It is very, we have our DNS connect. Yeah, we already have actually, so we don't need DNS link or any. But yeah, in the future, let's say if our community comes and says, hey, you know what, why can't we have multiple gateways at one place? We'll be more than happy to do that, because we are the aggregator. We'll be more than happy to aggregate them as well at one place and expose them via our user interface. Now coming back to demo again. Let's say if you guys have compute need, then you can go to this particular switch here. The moment you log in, basically it just pops it up out here. But again, if you forgot, like, you can always go to this compute. The moment you get into this compute, you are going to find this, like for me, this is a dashboard. But let's say you want to launch your own IPFS cluster, or you want to launch your own IPFS gateway for yourself. What you can do is, you can go to, instead of going, you have multiple options. Either you go and use the IPFS Docker container and basically customize it and then launch it, or you can go to our compute template marketplace. And what you can do is like, let me go and see if IPFS is here. Yeah, it is here, right? So which means like, you can go to and click on this IPFS, and what you can do is like, depending on what you are looking for, just go and select whatever you want. Let's say if I want to select this package, I'll go and do that, and then I'll just have to only click on deploy, and I'll not do the deploy, or else my AKT will be gone from my wallet. So, but let me just do that. But let's say if you want to deploy, you can just go ahead and click on deploy. The moment you deploy it, what will happen is like, again, just to give you guys an information here, since we are the Web3 infra aggregation layer, we try not to use any underlying. So when I say underlying, it is basically means like, we might use our middle layer in somewhere in a centralized ecosystem, but all the end code of ours goes to decentralized ecosystem. And that is where Akash comes into the picture. So if you want to spin up your IPFS own gateway, you by default get certain AKTs from our side, so which means like, you don't even have to worry about carrying Akash token on Cosmos or any such sort of a thing. You can just directly go to Spheron today, and yeah, see, I've just deployed my IPFS node. Like, it should work once the link is available. So you can go to this IPFS, and then we can, if it takes a couple of minutes or time, or you can say little bit of a time to warm it up, because it's a Docker image which takes some time to up, and then you can use that port, the UI port, to basically start accessing your IPFS gateway itself. So that is how exactly you can do it. Is my screen is visible? Which window is visible? Mitrash, is my IPFS
Yes.
is visible?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It is the enabled deployment. Yeah.
Okay. So if you see here, you can use any of these ports to basically go and open your GUI, and that is how easy it is. Now, second thing is like, let's say my IPFS node is like not working out. I want to see certain logs. I want to see what happened, if the deployment worked or not. You can always go and check it out here. What we do is like we create a lease on Akash. There is nothing which we hide it here. It is very open. If any activity is there, all these activities and all those things can be checked. Now let's imagine you want to close this node because you just spinned it up by mistake. Okay. So you can click here and go to close instance and say continue. The moment you do it, what happens is the equity which was deducted from your account will be reverted back to you. So which you can go and take a look. Now, since I said like it is an asynchronous system, either you can wait here till the closing instance thing comes back, or you can go back as well. It's up to you. But you have to just keep an eye on a notification which comes here, which says your instance is closed. Till the time you are not receiving that notification, your instance might be running. So please make sure you take a look into that, because we query the blockchain on Cosmos to get the status and then give it back to you. So it might take certain delay and time to make that happen. So that is how exactly it works. So for example, for me, it is not yet coming up, but once it is closed, I'll able to see my close notification here. So these are the couple of things. And then let's say if you want to go ahead and attach your domain, you can go and do that. That domain attachment is also possible today. And a lot more things. Like, so we'll be here to support you guys in whatever in whatever way we can. We'll be more than happy to provide. And even today, like, so today only we have started to support of many different nodes wherever you are building. So for example, we are also working on providing the FVM support soon. Once that comes into the picture, you will also be able to spin up that as well. So this is what the Spheron is all about at this point of time. And yeah, I'll pause myself here. And if you guys have any further question, you can unmute your mic, and we'll be more than happy to take it forward, your question. All right, so there's a question we have. Are you running on all your infrastructure, or are you using Azure, Google to host and spin up these resources? So there are two things which we are doing currently. We are using the mixture of the hybrid system. The hybrid system involves both our own as well as the centralized versions. The intention here is to, let's say, if I want to run an IPFS today, how exactly? So there are a lot of things which are still not available in decentralized ecosystem. So for example, messaging queue, right? So if you have to build a Kafka queue and all those things, it is not yet available. And that is the reason you have to use centralized system at certain points to make sure like that queues and everything is right in the place. So if you see like, so my instance just got closed successfully and I have received my notification. So yeah, Patrick, just to answer your question, this is the answer. But ultimately, if you are running any kind of a node, once it is spinned up, it does not spin up in AWS and GCP. It is spinned up on Akash in the compute side. And for the web hosting side, it goes to Filecoin and IPFS directly. So there is no mediator. So at the end, you will get the decentralized version of it. I hope that answered your question. If not, you can ask furthermore. Yeah, so I believe that is it from my side. Just to give you guys, I'll stop sharing my screen. I believe I'm on time. I have 5 minutes left, so I'll try to cover it. That as well point, which is very, very cool point around the bounty. So on the bounty side, what we are looking for, it's very straightforward. We are looking for anyone who has a web application, if you're using domain, if you're using compute, if you're using anything around this Spheron. But the thing which we are looking forward is like, you are using your own domain to access any of the resources rather than the just submitting the Spheron's domain, which we give, or using the Spheron gateway. That is I have clearly mentioned out our prices on the price channel. But feel free to, Ines and Unstoppable, anything will work. Like whatever you have, you can. The reason we wanted to put it forward, because a lot of times what happens is like people just try to exploit the system by not putting their domains, and we end up in not choosing the right people who have been like building the product for the right reasons. So this is how we came up with the filtration process, is to put that filter, and we have top 10 projects, right? So most likely, like quarter of, like 1/3 of you will be the winners, most likely, like how many people have joined here. So we'll be more than happy to provide whatever support you guys need. Our Discord is always open. One more thing I have not shown you guys, there is also support channel in the app, inside the app itself, which means like if you face any issues, ping us there directly. Most likely it will get resolved within next 6 to 7 or 8 hours max. If it is because most of the teams are India and Asia, other like we are in Serbia and in India and Dubai based. So most likely there will be certain issues for the ET time zone people. We might resolve it in the next 5 to 6 hours, but for anyone closer to our time zone, it will get resolved immediately. And if it is not, then you can always come to our Discord channel, which is already on our ETH Global as well. And then we also have our own personal. You can come over, create a ticket, and we'll be more than happy to like resolve those issues. So yeah, Luke, I believe I have covered most of the things. We'll be looking forward like most of these projects accelerating their domain, accelerating their web application via Filecoin and IPFS using Spheron.
Right on. Well, thank you, Prashant. That was an incredible workshop. I think everyone had a really great time in here today. I know we have some workshops coming up next, so we're going to probably keep it moving. But if everyone can move their conversations over to the Discord, now would be a great time to do so.